Yo, Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. So this past week, I posted about the Kinks drummer, Mike Avery. And today, I thought I would tell you a few things about the band you might not know. Alright, so, by 1965, the group was doing quite well, headlining tours with multiple hits on the charts. But, as I told you in the story this past week, relationships in the band were at a very low point, culminating in the fight between Dave Davies and Mike Avery. All right. As bad as that was, things would get even worse. During a mid-year tour in the States, the band was scheduled to do Dick Clark's show, Where the Action Is. Now, according to Ray Davies, they were backstage when some guy who said he worked for the TV company walked up and accused us of being late. Then he started making anti-British comments. Things like, just because the Beatles did it, every mop-top, spotty-faced, limey juvenile thinks he can come over here and make a career for himself. Following which, Ray decked the guy. And shortly after that, the American Federation of Musicians banned the Kinks from performing in the United States for the next 4 years. All right. Now, by 1967, the Kinks had released a number of hit songs and albums, and Ray was asked to review the Beatles album Revolver, which had just come out. I thought it was interesting. You got to hear what he said about each of these songs. Okay. And it's done in very quintessential Ray Davies fashion. All right. Taxman. It sounds like a cross between The Who and Batman. Eleanor Rigby. It sounds like they're out to please music teachers in primary schools. Love You Too. George wrote this. He must have quite a big influence on the group now. I was doing this sort of song 2 years ago. Now I'm doing what the Beatles were doing 2 years ago. Yellow Submarine. This is a load of rubbish, really. I take the mickey out of myself on the piano and play stuff like this. I think they know it's not that good. And Your Bird Can Sing. Don't like this. The song's too predictable. It's not a Beatles song at all. Got to get you into my life. Paul sounds like Little Richard. Tomorrow Never Knows. Listen to all those crazy sounds. It'll be popular in the discotheques. So that's what Ray thought of the Revolver album. But while I tell you the rest of the story, let's listen to a little Kinks. This is a really good one. Now, in 1968, the band came out with the album, The Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society, which according to band members was a high point for the group. Now, Pete Coffey, who played bass from 64 to 69, said he felt it was the only real Kinks album because it was the only one that Ray Davies didn't dominate and that the record was a real collaborative effort. All right. Now check this out. You're not going to believe this. Around the time the band made that record, Avery and Coffey had their contracts adjusted. And believe it or not, they were still only making a mere 40 pounds a week. Pete, as a matter of fact, made a comment that his stepfather made more money running a little grocery store. All right, by the summer of 73, Ray Davies had it, and he OD'd on a combination of Valium and alcohol. I mean, he was okay, but he was certainly not expected to play for a while. So the band had a gig at the Great Western Festival, and they were sure Ray wasn't going to come. But they were wrong. Ray showed up looking terrible, hiding behind big dark shades He looked very skinny with matted hair and a ridiculous outfit consisting of white linen pants, an ugly white shirt with a terrible red design across the front, and a blue bow tie. As the set was ending, he informed the band that he was sick and tired and that this was his last gig. But typical of the stuff that happened to the Kinks, just as Ray began announcing his retirement to the crowd, he was drowned out by a very loud backing track. Nobody heard a word he said, and by the end of the night, he changed his mind anyway. So, the Kinks. I also read an interesting thing that by 2006, the Kinks' music was making more in the United States in advertising than any other band, with Led Zeppelin coming in second. All right, that's it. Have a great day. Neil Ratner Rock Doc, and I'll see you real soon.